Most HDB sellers in Singapore are making costly mistakes that prevent them from getting the highest price for their flat. According to official HDB transactions data, overpriced flats can sit unsold for months, making them appear undesirable to buyers who eventually negotiate even harder. Today, I'm going to review the real truth about selling high in Singapore's HDB's market, the common misconceptions that cost sellers thousands of dollars, and the right focus that actually maximize your returns. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to position your HDB flat to attract multiple offers and achieve the best possible sale price. I'm speaking from experience in Singapore's property market, and everything I share today is based on verified transaction data and proven market principles. Let's start with the biggest misconception that is costing HDB sellers money right away. The first major mistake is believing that overpricing guarantees higher profits. Many sellers think listing their HDB flats above market value will net them the best returns, but this strategy actually backfires in Singapore's digital property market. Here's what really happens when you overprice. Buyers filter property listings by their budget on platforms like Property Guru and 99.co. If your flat is priced too high, it won't even appear in their search results. This immediately reduces your pool of interested buyers. According to property transactions analysis, flats that stay on the market for too long create a perception problem. Buyers start suspecting that there's something wrong with the property. Even if you lower the price later, the initial damage is done. Buyers may negotiate harder or avoid your flat altogether. There's also the cash over valuation issue. If your asking price creates a COV that's too high, buyers simply can't afford it because COV must be paid in cash and cannot be covered by CPF or housing loans. This kills the deal before they even start. The right approach is competitive pricing based on recent transactions of similar flats in your area. Use data-driven valuation tools and consult professional agents for unbiased assessments. When you price competitively, you attract more buyers, which can lead to multiple offers and potentially a higher final sale price than if you had overpriced from the start. The second misconception is that sentimental value equals market value. Sellers often let personal attachment inflate their asking price, but buyers do not share this sentiment. Your memories of family gatherings, the money you spend on renovations, or the years you live there don't determine market value. The market value is determined by recent transactions of similar flats in your area, period. According to Singapore property data, buyers pay for location, size, and condition. They don't pay extra because you have emotional attachment to the property. This is why it is crucial to separate your feelings from the business decision of selling. Professional valuations consider factors like floor level, facing directions, remaining lease, and recent comparable sales. These are objective measures that buyers use to make their decisions. Your personal connection to the flat, while meaningful to you, doesn't translate to additional dollars in the sales price. The solution is to research recent transactions thoroughly. Look at flats of similar size, age, and location that have sold in the past 6 months. This gives you a realistic baseline for pricing your property. There's a widespread belief that flats near MRT stations or in central location will always fetch higher prices and guarantee capital appreciation. While such locations may command a premium, they do not guarantee profits. Market timing plays a bigger role than location alone. According to market cycle analysis, selling during a market upswing can benefit almost any location, while selling during a downturn can be challenging even for prime units. The market cycle, supply and demand dynamics, and timing determines your actual gains more than proximity to amenities. A flat near an MRT station bought at the wrong time in the market cycle may not appreciate as much as a heartland flat bought at the right time. This is why understanding market condition is more important than banking solely on location's advantages. Good locations provide stability and consistent demand, but they don't eliminate the need for proper timing and realistic pricing. Focus on market timing alongside location benefits. Monitor supply levels in your area, track recent transactions volumes, and understand whether you are selling in a buyer's or seller's market. Many sellers expect to recoup every dollar spent on renovations, but buyers may not value these upgrades the same way, especially if styles and preferences differ. Renovation costs are not automatically added to your flat's market value. Buyers have their own taste preference and may actually prefer to renovate according to their own style rather than pay extra for your choices. According to property market analysis, certain renovations add more value than others. Basic improvements like fresh paint, good lightings, clean fixtures have better returns than expensive custom features that appeal to specific tastes. The key is understanding which improvements enhance your flat's appeal versus which ones are personal preference. Minor renovations that make your flat move-in ready and help buyers visualize themselves living there are more valuable than expensive custom work. Before spending on major renovations for sale purpose, consider whether the cost will be recovered in the sale price. Sometimes simple staging and decluttering provide better returns than expensive upgrades. Now that we have covered what doesn't work, let's focus on what actually maximizes your HDB sales price. The right approach combines market understanding, proper preparation, and strategic timing. First, understand your numbers completely. Know what CPF amount you will need to refund, calculate your actual sales proceeds, and understand the implications of COV on your buyer's affordability. This knowledge helps you price strategically and negotiate effectively. Second, prepare your flat for maximum appeal. This doesn't mean expensive renovations. It means decluttering, deep cleaning, ensuring good lighting, and create a neutral space where buyers can visualize their own lives. First impressions matter significantly in property sales. Third, plan your timeline properly. Avoid rushing into a sale just because the market seems hot. Ensure you have a plan for your next home and understand the implication of moving out early or late. Proper planning prevents costly mistakes. Fourth, focus on your actual needs, not just profits. Consider your family needs, future plans, and lifestyle's preference. Selling high is only beneficial if it aligns with your long-term goals, whether that's upgrading, downsizing, or relocating. Finally, be decisive when you receive reasonable offers. Good offers may not last, and waiting for a better one can backfire. Skill, negotiation, and a clear understanding of your minimum acceptable price are essential. The truth about selling high in Singapore's HDB's market isn't about listing at the highest price or banking on location alone. Success comes from understanding the market, pricing realistically, preparing your flat properly, and focusing on your real needs rather than chasing headlines. Here are your specific takeaways. Price your flat competitively based on recent transaction data, not emotions or renovation costs. Prepare your flat to appeal to buyers through cleanliness and staging, not expensive upgrades. Plan your timeline and finances completely before listing. Focus on your family's actual needs and long-term goals. Be ready to act decisively on good offers. Use professional help when needed. Rely on data for pricing decisions, and remember that the goal is maximizing your actual returns while minimizing stress and risk. The sellers who follow these principles consistently achieve better outcomes than those who chase record prices or rely on outdated strategies. Looking to sell off your HDB at the highest price? I've helped 90 over families in the last 3 years secure sales price 20 to 30,000 above the last transacted prices in less than 3 weeks. If you want to find out how, I put a link in my description explaining it.